Welcome to my podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited you are here. You will hear some incredible stories about how people are serving around the world, how they overcame a struggle, how they serve. These shows will give you an edge in business and your personal life. I believe serving over sales will help you grow in so many ways. And now, about our incredible sponsor, Info. Info is a web app that puts your business on people's cell phones when you meet people online or in person. They can engage with your business or send out referrals with a button click, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The power of business is connecting with more people. Remember, your network is your net worth. Info will do this for you. I would love to help spread the word about these shows, so please subscribe to this podcast and find us on all your podcast platforms. Please share with anyone you know who could benefit from our shows. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And I got a true servant. I can say a friend, somebody I've talked to a few times and met in a number of networking groups, is doing some great things out there in the business world. I want to welcome Victor. Victor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
What's the name of your business?
So my business's name is Ascend Consulting.
And how'd that get started? May I have to start way in the back in the beginning? I know we've talked about that before, but can I tell a little backstory and what got you to here where you are now?
I'm more than happy to. So I'm in the self-development, professional development industry, and that's what I focus on. And my journey to it was very much not what I had planned when I was a wee little lad. I thought I'll be a fireman, and then I decided I was going to go through into the military, do a couple of years there of service, go the government route afterwards. But then my calling was elsewhere. So I jumped into business development, specifically international business development. And from there, from the very beginning of my career, from software and international business dev, I've been building people up, both as something on the side, but also as part of my job description and my roles and responsibilities. And it got to the point where I was more interested and invested in the people aspect of my job than actually doing my job of other stuff. So I've been immersed in the world of psychology since I was about 8 years old. My biological mother, before I was adopted, had been studying child development psychology, and I was translating for her. Mm-hmm. So she's an immigrant, speaks Persian, very poor English, doesn't know how to read, write, or type well. So 8-year-old me had to read her stuff, go to class with her, type up her papers, do all her research with her, help her to understand everything. So my immersion into the world of the human psychology was from a very young age.
That is an amazing story. And I know there's more to it. That's definitely a struggle right there.
Oh, yeah. It became an interesting dynamic because as I was growing up, I had a lot of my own issues to work through. I come from a broken home, broken parents, broken cultures, Russian, Persian. If you look at politics nowadays, you see how everything is so ass backwards, and excuse me for the French, but it really is. And so then I'm growing up in LA, confused as a kid, abused, going through all sorts of negative things from my parents and others and things like that. And, by the time I'm 15, I hate the world. I hate myself. Yeah. And all these beliefs and things that I had carried forward into my adult life, and they shaped a lot of my perspectives, my experiences, until one day I'd had enough. It's like, why do I hate everything that I'm doing and who I am? Why am I letting the crap from the past still impact what I'm doing today? And where is the connection? So I dove deep into the unconscious mind. I started diving into different types of therapies, really learning more about what makes me tick and makes me who I am today. What's interesting is in the process of doing that, I realized deeper my passion for people and seeing that change and making that impact. And I have a goal, a personal goal. Last time you and I talked, I told you my goal was to positively impact 1 million people.
Yep.
I've upped it.
Wow.
I made it more audacious because I want to rise to the challenge. So I want to positively impact 10 million people in my lifespan. So I
That's
got
a
some
legacy. Just going to say it.
It is. So
What's
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's interesting listening to what you just said, the struggle you had. Why were you able to pivot? Because there's a lot of people listening to this are going to have the same struggle, or I've had that struggle. But I think that's the hardest part. The struggle is hard, but the hardest part is what you did, is that pivot. What do you think you did, or what moment was there something that happened that said, hey, I had enough?
So for me, there were a few pivotal moments in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
A few of them I fell short on. I could have pivoted earlier on, but I never did because I didn't know that I could. And I think that's key to anything that we want to do in terms of pivoting, changing, growing, is knowing that we can change the dialogue starting today and moving forward. So, we all wear different roles, hats, we drink different drinks, things like that. But we can choose from this moment on to do something different, to be somebody greater. And in the process of doing that, all the things that would normally keep you tied down will pop up and test you. Okay, what about in instances of, say, a relationship? Can you pivot and be better in a relationship? Why or why not? What pops up and how do you address it? So as you pivot, you uncover a whole bunch of stuff that you've got going on. And in the process, you can work through it all, heal it all, and apply it in a way that it no longer is a weakness or a weight that you're carrying, but something that empowers you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that these challenges that you had, which were quite large and audacious, as you said, it's a great word, this led you where you are today, what you're doing today. How did it lead you to that?
Oh, I gotta attribute a lot of this to divine intervention.
Amen.
And I know you and I've discussed this before, but the audience members don't. I'm a walking testimony of miracles. Okay? My life and my experiences, I've spoken to a couple shrinks and they all said the same thing. You should be dead from a very young age, or you should be in prison for multiple sentences and all this crap because of all the things that you've endured. But therein lies the strength and the divinity of it all, is that emotional resilience that I had early on developed to weather and pivot and adjust to whatever circumstance I had. And that's something that we as humans can learn and develop, or we don't learn it and therefore we don't develop it.
Yeah.
So when we encounter those, troublesome issues, stressful moments like, oh my goodness, PayPal just drained my bank account. Mm-hmm. Do you freak out? Or do you say, okay, well, let's go make some more money?
Big difference.
It is.
And that's what you work towards with people when you work with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I work with people, I tell them that they're going to be a whole brand new person that they can't even comprehend or imagine yet, because our vision, we're so dialed in and zeroed in on what we are, that we kind of forget to dream and imagine what we could be. So when I work with clients, I tell them, and this is part of my process, so I'm gonna give you a little nugget.
Love
here.
it. Yeah.
So I ask them, what's the vision of your ideal perfect self? The one that doesn't have any baggage, trauma, issues, pains, aches, anything like that. Write it all down. Write it as a list. And then working with me, I promise them that they're going to work through all the negative emotions that hold them back: anger, sadness, guilt, fear. And then we work on applying all the lessons that we learn, going through and doing some form of therapies with, I have a lot of certifications and I work with people using different therapies. Mm-hmm. So using those therapies, we go back, we work through all the trauma, all the events in our lives that shape our worldview and our perspectives. And then we reprogram those so that way you can empower yourself from a traumatic event, and as opposed to limiting yourself from a traumatic event. And then going forward, we make action plans, because I'm one of massive action. I could talk theory all day long, but I'd rather you go out and do the change and be the change that you want. So I challenge every single client to take massive action. If you're afraid to go public speak, go to Toastmasters, start practicing public speaking, or get up on an Instagram live and talk about your story, about who you are and what you do. Massive action with massive accountability.
You believe most people or all people can change?
Oh, 100%. It's all a choice. But also it's being presented in a way, it all also comes down to understanding and perceiving that you can change. Now, if you and I were talking, if I had just met you off the street and said, hey, did you know you can be a millionaire? And you're like, who the hell is this kid? But talking with me a little bit more, getting deeper of an understanding where I'm coming at, what I'm saying, and what my vision or my perspective is, you can then buy into that.
Yeah.
So but I have to convince you that there is a possibility alternative to what you currently have. And then it's your choice to accept it or not.
So what I'm hearing from you, you can lead me. If I do the actions, change will happen. Mm-hmm. But listen and do are the two components that are important. If one of those two are missing, failure, probably the wrong word, but it won't work as well.
Right. So my whole premise is this: you have to be 100% bought into anything that you want to do. Because if you're even 99%, there's a small percentage that you're not going to accomplish it or do it. That whole, I'll do it tomorrow will kick in. That's why I always challenge people and say, I need 100% buy-in. I will guide you. As a coach and as a mentor, I'm a guide. I'm not the person that presents the solutions and the answers. I'm there to help you figure out what you want. I provide the environment and the procedures, but you, the client, are the one that figures out who you want to be, how you want to be, what you want to do, and what you define as good and bad. So what's a good behavior? What's a bad behavior? And we dive in deep.
I love that. You develop your program around their wants and customize it to their wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's
100%.
it. 100%. That's pretty powerful. And people have a lot of wants, don't they? But they don't think about them.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I gave you the challenge today to write down 100 things that's on your wants list, could you do it?
It'd be a challenge.
Right. We visualize and we dream and we want all these things, but we never write it down. So then we forget about it. And then when it comes down to it, where we have to sit down with pen and paper and say, hey, what do I want? Like, I'd love to have that F-350 that's souped up. But what else do I want? Well, I want the motorcycle. And then you go down the list, you're like, I'm 20 strong, but 100? Holy crap.
You get people to that level where they have 100 wants?
Yeah. That's one of my first assignments that I have with people is I want 100 wants, 100 things that you want to accomplish, achieve, own, receive, whatever it is. 100 wants on a list, piece of paper.
Interesting. I love that, because now people are getting, the audience is hearing how you dive into this, because I think that's important. People, there's guides, coaches, whatever you want to call them, everywhere. I think people are afraid of the process, and you make it super simple, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very transparent about it. I even explain the science behind everything that I do, because I could do the whole like Houdini mystery whatever business. But I figured that if you understand why I'm asking you to do something, then you'll have less resistance unconsciously to do it. So if me explaining makes the process easier for you, then I'm going to explain it to you. I'm not going to hold it above you and say, no, I can't tell you, this is trade secret.
Yeah. What's your biggest challenge with a client that you have to overcome? That might be a hard question to answer, but what's one or two things that really people have to really work on that's kind of consistent across everybody? And it may not be, but I always like to ask coaches this.
So one of the biggest trends that I've seen so far is that most of the clients that I've worked with have I don't want to say it in a negative way, but they don't have the faith of who they can become. They have the desire, they have the hope, but the faith isn't there, because they're so used to the same old routine, the same old self, that they can't imagine themselves being any different.
Right.
But what's fun is, I have a 3-month program. I work with clients on a 3-month basis because true change takes time. And I have a repetitive weekly program that I run with them of like, hey, we're going to meet every week for 90 minutes. Over time, little 1-degree shifts are happening.
Yeah.
They aren't even aware of it. Well, here's the cool part. I have a client who she told me that she doesn't want anything. She has everything she wants. I said, okay, that's great, but I want 100 wants. So over the course of our 12 weeks, she just kept adding a little bit to her list. And then by week 10, she comes back and says, I have 200 things that I want. I'm blown away. I'm like, holy crap, girl. She says, yeah, I thought about it and I realized I really want to experience a lot of these things. And beforehand, when we had started, she said she was fine. She's very just apathetic about it.
Very interesting.
In the 10 weeks, 1 degree shifts. She has a desire to live, to thrive in life.
Yep.
That's powerful stuff.
Oh, it's huge. It's like going from nothing to everything in a sense. I really don't need anything. Now she's got a desire to go after others. You said 2 words are real important to me that people I want to hear your answer to: hope and faith.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think they're the same. What do you think? And why?
So I always, my background is Christian. You and I, we've talked about this before, but for the audience, faith and hope are 2 very different things. Faith, in my opinion, faith is a belief of something. Hope is the other side of it, that it comes to fruition. So there's the faith of, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I hope that I one day get to meet him. But the hope aspect is tied to action. So for me, faith and hope are belief and action. So when you have faith and hope in something, it's a unified force to make some positive change. Now, others may disagree with that, but there's also correct me if I'm wrong here, and I do apologize. My scripture verse knowledge.
That's okay.
Isn't it faith without works is death?
Yeah, I think you're right. Close.
So, okay. So if we were to go off of that, then the implication people would take right off the bat literally is, oh, if I don't work my faith, I'm going to die. No. I look at it from this perspective. Faith, work, or hope together overcome death, overcome failure. Faith and hope lead you beyond failure to success.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think you're right. And I'm glad you said that, because that's how I feel. You need both really to succeed. It's great to have one of them, but to really fulfill the desire, want that you work with, they both have to happen. Because you could talk about something until you do it. I'm going to jump from a plane. I'm going to jump from a plane.
Right.
If you never jump from a plane, you could talk about from the top of the mountain. Doesn't matter. You've done it. Right. I love that perspective. But you make it simple. And is there a reason for that?
Yeah. We humans overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
So I love your podcast, and I'll tell you why. Because conversations with you are very easy, very calm, and very pleasant. And so anytime I'm listening in, I always think this is such a good cadence. This is such a good tone and approach. You've got, Joe Rogan. He's got his podcast. He's got his intro. He's got his guest speakers and all that. There's a level of complication that's added to it. And if you're not savvy with the uptake on how he does things, you get confused if you jump into episode 7,000.
Yeah.
And so we humans overcomplicate everything. And so simple is always best, because it's pure, it's clean, it's direct. Personal opinion. I could be wrong.
No. That's what this is about. This is a conversation. I appreciate you saying that, Victor, because that's what these shows are about. Let's learn about Victor, but in a conversational. Now, Joe Rogan's a celebrity. Celebrities can do a little different because they can get away with that stuff. And I don't want to be a celebrity. I want to get this message out, but you nailed it. Just got to be simple. And they just take pieces of maybe hope and faith, maybe change from this show. We've done our job as a podcast of helping others. And that's what we're here for. I don't talk about it a lot, but I appreciate you saying that, Victor. We're just about giving you tips. And if one person gets hope and faith from this and gets hope and faith to move forward and get a want, or they reach out to you, Victor, we could sleep well at night and praise the Lord, be very helpful. What's the name of your company again?
Ascend Consulting.
What's your website?
It's ascend-consulting.info. Although I do have a new website coming, and it's going to be victor-fralof.com.
Great. We'll be changing that. We'll put whatever he's got in the show notes. If there is a change, I'll change it in the show notes. You guys take a look at it. You've got a lot to offer. Oh my God. I've talked to you before. This is so powerful, but I know we talked about books, and do you have a book or two that you'd like to suggest, and why?
Okay. So I've got one book for you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's The Power of the Unconscious Mind by, I believe, Joseph Campbell. And here's why. It's a faith-based book talking about the power of our minds. And a lot of times, our minds, we create limitations, or we create programs that run contrary to our desires. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I'd been told that I don't deserve love. So for the longest time, going through life and having romantic relationships, I would self-sabotage, or I would fall short, or I would do something that would qualify me as being undeserving of the person's love. Now, that was a program or a belief that I instilled within myself, and I ran it like a program, like an operating system, for the longest time, until I had the recognition to change it. So the power of the unconscious mind talks about how powerful simple thoughts can be and how they can change the course of your life. There's another book that I always tied to it, and this is deeper stuff, so if people aren't interested in that, they can ignore it, but it's Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra. It talks about the miracle healings that occur and how it's all tied to our thoughts. And the perfect example from the book was within the first 30 pages. He had a lung cancer patient who came to him and said, "Hey, I've got lung cancer and I've got 6 months to live. I need help." Well, he helped her through meditations, focusing positive thought on healing on the cancerous area. In the process, she skips one of their sessions, comes back the next week and says, "I don't have cancer anymore." She had what they, as a phenomenon, they are aware of in the medical industry. It's a very small percentage of people that have cancer that experience it, but it's called it's a cancer flu. And what happens is the cancer gets completely eradicated, and the symptoms of the body are like a flu. It just eradicates everything. It's common enough that they have a statistic for it, but it's uncommon enough that they don't know how or why it happens.
Wow.
So thought.
Yeah. It's huge. And to promote one of my shows, Chase Thornock, audience, listen, same thing. He got very sick and they pronounced dead. You have a few weeks to live. And he looked in the mirror. Same thing. He just used his mind. And 5 years later, he's alive. I've met him in person, live and healthy, and never has his cancer, and his disease that he had is completely gone. He's been cancer-free for 4 years, and he just used his mind. It's I don't want to say problem. What the challenge is, a better word, is for people to believe it.
Right.
Yeah, but what you just said, Chase's story, they're on and ongoing. And that's what you do, Victor. You don't heal people, but you heal their business mindset, which leads to personal. Because I totally believe with you. As a kid, your environment's your environment. You can't deal with it. I mean, you're a kid. But when you get older, then you can make the choice to change, work with somebody like you, get hope and faith, make the change, and just enjoy life, have a great quality of life, right?
Oh, absolutely. And imagine, and I always say personal and professional are tied together. You cannot separate or put them in a box. Everything is networked, neural pathway together. So imagine you fix something in the personal life, you elevate that, it's going to have a positive impact on the professional side of things, and vice versa. If you fix something on the professional side, it's going to have a positive impact on the personal. So as people are diving into self-development, personal, professional development, getting coaching, going to different groups, things like that, they might look at it unilaterally, like, oh, this is just professional development. No, it's false. If you have a good coaching group, good coaches in the process are good mentors, every sphere of your life, every aspect of your life is going to get elevated, because you're going to make positive 1-degree shifts in one area that's going to impact, like a teeter-totter. This goes up, this has to go up. This goes up, this has to go up.
That's 100% correct. That is so profound, because I tell people all the time, and we all do it, you, me, everybody, you had something happen in your day that hurts your energy, your sales call is not going to be as good.
Right.
Because something, if we're human, we're not robots. So if somebody calls me and says I'm a bad human being, just rips on me, it's going to affect you a little bit. You jump on a sales call, that energy is going to, it's the challenge to get past that and be up.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I love that you do. See, these are audience, some of the things, reasons why I want him on. You're seeing the power of Victor and what he can do. Think about that. If he could teach you when you have a bad interaction and the next minute you've got to do a presentation, or you've got to do a speech, or you just got to talk to one of your employees, it doesn't matter, but you're able to change that energy back to that high energy. That's what Victor does. That's why I love him. And that's why I want to thank you so much for being on the show. We've run out of time. These are the kind of things I want to get out, and I appreciate you so much to help me get this out, because you're right on everything you said. We've got to take care of this big old noggin in our thing in our head called the brain. If we do that, life's going to be much better, and you're living proof.
Oh yeah.
With that all being said, you know what you're doing, you get it. I'd love for you to leave the audience one tip that's got you through all this struggle, overcoming everything you've done, that you can give the audience to help them. Maybe somebody's out there struggling as well.
So something that I tell all people that I interact with is this: if you don't believe in yourself, believe that I believe in you. Because you can lean on my belief and my support and my outside perspective that you have greatness within you. You may not recognize it yet, but it's there. And as you work through all the garbage and all the BS and all the stuff that life happens and throws at us, and you lean into being your most ideal self, you'll start seeing and believing it too.